Without a doubt, the most common question we get are about construction timelines. As much money as people are spending on these new custom builds, the things that people get the most focused on usually is the time frame. That's because this is a major life-changing event. You want to be in the home as soon as you can, so obviously this is something that people pay close attention to. But for those just wondering how the construction timelines work when you are custom building a house, here's some information that may help you. First off, depending on where you are at in the process, if you have not had a floor plan designed yet, then you probably need to budget anywhere from 1 to 2 months on the floor plan design. But even that can vary depending on how quickly you move and how quickly the architect can move. So the architect is generally going to take 1 to 2 months to work with you on drawing a floor plan. However, it could be quicker, it could be longer, depending on how busy the architect is and how long you take to make decisions, turn around revision comments, things like that. But generally speaking, I would budget 1 to 2 months on floor plan design. Once you have a floor plan design, when you are dealing with a custom builder like Legacy Classic Homes, we then have to take your construction set of floor plans and get the house estimated. You're looking at maybe a couple weeks to do that. At that point, we've turned around the cost estimate to you. If you say, hey, that all looks good, let's move forward, we will sign the construction contract. And then if you are using a bank to get a construction loan, you're looking at about 30 to 45 days for that bank to allocate the construction loan, where we can go to the title company, close it, and get started on the house. Now, the house build time frame varies quite a bit depending on the house itself and the weather and a few other things involved. The first thing we need to do as a builder is submit the building permit to whatever city or municipality your land is located in. Cities seem to move slower and slower these days because they are getting more bureaucratic with what they want from us and the length of time it takes them to review floor plans. So I used to say on average, expect maybe 2 weeks to get a building permit approved. Now you're probably looking closer to a month. Once the building permit is approved, we can start construction, which normally would start with the excavation, preparing the pad to build a home. This is the tricky part. If the weather's great and there's no rain, we can get started immediately, just pending scheduling of our contractors. If, however, it is raining and we are having a really rainy spring or a rainy fall, we may not be able to get started on the property for a while. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume we have good weather and we can get our excavation contractor on there pretty quickly. Generally speaking, they will knock out a lot preparation within a week. We have built on the side of really steep hills full of trees, and those kind of excavation jobs can take longer. But generally speaking, you're a week to get the lot excavated and then set the form boards on it. Probably another couple weeks to get the foundation put together and get it poured. Again, all assuming good weather. The house build time itself really depends on the type of house, the size of the house, and in some cases, what happens with the customers themselves, you, the homeowner, in other words. I have had customers who know what they want, make selections early, don't make changes, and we can move through the build at a relatively quick pace. I have other cases where people are indecisive or changing their minds, doing changes as we build the home, and all of this kind of stuff can slow down the process or make it take longer. I say slow down. We're a custom builder. I expect people to make changes, change their mind, things like that. But just know every time you do that, it's going to lengthen the build time process. So depending on the type of house, if you are building a 3,000 square foot living house, I would generally tell people 7 to 9 months construction time on that. We have built some really big homes, though, that can take up to 2 years. So there again, knowing the exact build time of a house is going to be dependent upon the complexity of the house, the size of the house, and then just what we're dealing with weather conditions and even what's going on with the market. Just a few years ago with COVID, we had all the supply chain issues Couldn't get materials. That took longer to build homes. So what you need to do is consult with your builder based on your floor plan, your lot, and what you want to do with the project to get a feel for what the construction timeline is going to be. And just know when you're talking about construction timeline, this isn't Ford Motor Company or GM where they can tell you probably to the minute how long it takes to run this car through the assembly line and have it from start to finish. Building a home is complex. We are dealing with weather. We are dealing with subcontractor schedules and a lot of things that are somewhat out of our control and can mean that initially we can give ballpark timelines, but can't give more detailed ideas of when the house will be complete until we get quite a bit further into the project.